Hello, beautiful people. I hope that wherever you are in the world, that you are doing well and that you are taking care of yourselves. I'm Chris Danker, and this is Let the Adventure Begin. Let the Adventure Begin with Chris Danker podcast. Hey, everybody. I guess I should have given everyone a heads up that I was going to take last week off. I should have known better than to think that I was going to record a podcast episode the week of Thanksgiving break here in the United States. So I should have given you and myself a heads up that I was going to do that. And then the week got away from me. And I'm like, you know what? The only thing that I can do is just ask for grace. And we all need that in the world today, don't we? So, welcome back to this week. I want to talk about something that is a concept, or I don't know how to describe it, but I am reading The Pivot Year by Brianna Wiest, and I am just now getting started with it. I had it as a Kindle book. I'm just not really good with professional or personal development books that are on my Kindle because they're out of sight, out of mind. If I have the physical book in front of me or where I can see it, then I am more than likely I'm going to read it. So I had some starts and stops when I was trying to read The Pivot Year on my Kindle. I ordered a physical copy of the book. In fact, I will link it in the show notes so that if you're interested, you can get a copy. And basically, it's 365 days to become the person you truly want to be. And so there are just different thoughts, short essays, paragraphs each day for 365 days. So obviously, you can start it whenever you want to. And what I've decided to do is for each day, I'll write the date that I'm reading it. So that way I can make that commitment that I don't want to skip a day. And then I'm writing some notes on that particular page. And what I want to chat about today is about taking a pause. So I'm just going to read in this short paragraph for this particular day. It says, self-protection is learning how to take a pause between what you feel and how you react. When there is no awareness between what you perceive and the way that you respond, anything can control you. Practice the pause. Widen the space between what you sense and what you do about it. Decide what's worth your energy, because what you engage with is what you empower. I want to read that last sentence again. Decide what's worth your energy, because what you engage with is what you empower. And so these are the notes that I wrote. And again, if you like to take notes in a separate space, that's great. But I just want to have like a note or two that stood out to me or something that I want to recall. And I don't want to, for me, I just don't want to really make it lengthy. Just think of it as, for those of us in this age range, think of them as Cliff's Notes, that it's just short little snippets of things that you want to remember. So what I wrote down based upon this particular reading was, I need to consistently ask myself, what is worth my energy? Asking that question before I respond will give me the pause that I need. Because I like how she says, self-protection is learning how to take a pause between what you feel and how you react. And how many of us, and I'm shooting my hand straight into the air right now, as high up as it can go, because I know I'm guilty of this quite often. I don't take the pause. I'm half Irish, and sometimes that Irish ire will get the better of me when I don't intend for it to do so. And I'm really working on that. Some days are better than others. Again, I will credit meditation for bringing me so far along. But as we call meditation a practice, it's practice. I'm not going to be perfect. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But it's consistently putting that pause there and thinking about what you're feeling and then how you're reacting. And I feel like that question of what is worth my energy is really something that is going to really kind of drive how I react to different situations. Because, when we don't do that, we're letting a lot of things control us. There are just some things that aren't worth my energy. And sometimes I'll remember the phrase, not my monkeys, not my circus. There are other people that will say, not my monkeys, not my zoo. It's just basically saying, this is not my business, or this is not worth my energy. When I look at the big picture, is this worth it? And if it's a no, then don't give it the time and the energy. It's kind of like sometimes we can get into disagreements or arguments with people, and all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're going, why am I wasting my energy on this? I'm not making a dent in how this person is feeling. They're not feeling heard. I'm not feeling heard. We're both getting agitated. This just isn't worth my energy. And, going alongside that, then sometimes we need to set boundaries for ourselves and stick to those boundaries because, honestly, life is too short and we can't solve all the world's problems. We can't fix people. People have to want to do things themselves. What we can do is we can be an agent for change. But if it's someone who doesn't want to change themselves, they're not going to listen to you anyway. And no matter what you do or say, even if they're great ideas and suggestions, if someone's not ready for them or they don't want to hear them, they're not going to listen anyway. So it's really a waste of your energy. But then you need to set those boundaries to say, I'm not going to let myself get into those situations. And it's not saying that that person isn't worth it, because if it's someone who's really important to you, of course, they're always going to be worth it. But sometimes you have to take a step back and realize that, hey, I need to remove myself right now, because both of us are in a space that really isn't good for either one of us. And so sometimes you have to remove yourself because it's not worth your energy. It's like she said, it's that self-protection. It's protecting your peace. And even with people that we care about deeply, sometimes we have to do the hard thing and protect our peace, as hard as that might be. So I just wanted to share that with you because, again, this book, I'm early on in the process just because of the fact that I got my paper copy, and honestly, I was going to wait and start reading it at the beginning of 2025, and I'm like, why am I waiting? I want to dive into this now and get started. And this particular selection really resonated with me, and so I wanted to share it with you. I hope you are doing well. I hope the rest of your week goes really well. And until next week, I promise, I will be back next week. I hope you let your adventure begin. Peace.